Guys, this is the Project jet ski. It's a I think it's 2004 or 2005 GP1300R 2-stroke fuel injected Yamaha wave runner. So at this stage I've got the exhaust out because I found a lovely little cable here that was disconnected, which I later found out was down to the oil injection pump at the front there. So having to get to that, I had to remove the exhaust, and I found the reason why she stopped running is because we have a bad catalytic converter. So she had the wrong oil in it, and the bottom of the cat, she dropped out, and then bam, up on the inside, if you can see up in there, I've got the sensor right at the top there. She's been bent back. Yeah, so had to split it from the assembly, and doing that broke 2 bolts that were into the casting. I didn't bother doing it myself with an easy out, so I ended up taking it to an engineering shop. In the meantime, I've got the D plate there. Install that, get that up, got the bolts, got it replaced. So there's a bit of a delay on getting those broken bolts out. I took it to a engineering shop, got them to do it. They welded a nut on it and got it out. It was a bit of a pain apparently, but yeah. So different kind of metals, like, you know, anything like aluminium and stainless and whatnot, you gotta sort of put some sort of lubricant or something just to make sure it doesn't corrode, because it's a bit of a problem with that, with 2 different metals when they combine. So putting the D plate in, and the other thing is with these jet skis is you got the oil pump and you got the injection lines that come down into here. And what happens is these harden up because they're only rubber. They're supposed to be checked every 12 months and replaced every 2 to 3 years, or yeah, 2 or 3 seasons of riding the thing. So I've had to sort that out, but in the meantime also I had a problem with the injector pump. So what I ended up doing is I found this one on eBay with good timing. It's got a better cam. That was the issue with the one on this one, is the cam was all worn and disconnected, and I thought, well, you know, you can't just get the actual part, you have to get the whole pump assembly itself. So I found this on eBay, grabbed that quite cheap, and I've also got the Tygon tubing to replace the oil injection lines. It's a lot more rubberized and whatnot, but it isn't actually rubber. It's some kind of American patented process. And then also on top of that, I've got the crimps with the crimper, got that kit ordered as well. So I've got all that, and got some gaskets. Found another bloke locally that has had the same dilemmas with jet skis and whatnot, so I got that sorted. But pretty much the cause of the problem is the wrong oil was used. So this one here, see, it's got a bit of a, I don't know if you can zoom in on that. So it's got a bit of a purpley tinge to it. That's the right Yamaha 2W oil, and this is what was in it. It's got that little bit of a bluey colour. So with the catalytic converter using the wrong oil, with the oil pump disconnected, which would have made it go to wide open throttle, would have dumped a whole lot of oil into those cylinders. Plus I think it had premix petrol and oil in the fuel system, so yeah, she would have had quite a fair bit of oil going through those cylinders. The catalytic converter couldn't cope with it. That broke, took out the sensor, the exhaust temperature sensor, and then we started getting faults in the the ECU and everything stopped. So I haven't actually seen this thing running myself personally. I've just been doing a bit of research on how to fix it. It's not actually mine. There's a bit of a sad story behind it. It's probably the 4 sets of hands this thing's been through, because either people don't want to touch it, or it's been touched with too much, or it's been tampered with, fondled, the whole lot. So I'm giving it a shot. This is pretty much the thing that got me back into mucking around with like motorbikes and stuff, so getting that ready. But I've already emptied out the tank. Probably the most dangerous thing I ever did was get a drill operated pump to pump out the petrol, because yeah, whatnot. And I've got the old oil out of the reservoir there. So what I'll be doing is putting the new oil lines on there, crimping them up, getting that sorted, prime the pump, probably end up sticking a drill on the end of it and priming the oil through things, as well as putting probably a 35 or 40 to 1 oil fuel ratio in the fuel tank for the first session. Yeah, bolting it all together. I've got the defeater for the sensor for the because we're putting the D plate in, so we're bypassing the sensor. So I think it's just a resistor on that connection. I've also got another water pump sensor there as well to go on it. It's got a different connection, so that might be a bit of a drama, but get that all bolted up and remove the old pump setup, install that, prime the lines, bolt the exhaust back on, get everything going. The battery's being charged up, so that's come good, surprisingly. Yeah, fair bit of mucking around to get it to this stage, but bolt it all up and see how she goes. So I'll see you soon. Up to this stage, so I've got a lot of work done over the past couple of days. I've got the oil pump back into the setup, which is the replacement one I got from eBay, and redone the lines. So all these lines here are all Ligon with a Tiger, or however you pronounce it, clips on it down there. So and all that. Got the throttle cable with the oil pump cable on down there. Put a little bit of poor man's Loctite or nail polish on the threads to make sure it doesn't come off while in operation. Got the plugs out, so I've got it up to there. There's this one little problem I had when I was putting this back on, was this one, where are we? Can we see that? One little hose down there that goes to the exhaust manifold, and I couldn't figure out where it was supposed to go and whatnot. So, but eventually I found it after a bit of research. Put it all under there. Yeah, so exhaust is on, airbox is reinstalled, and I'm just about to install the final component of the exhaust. So I've got the D plate installed, new gaskets, put some moly grease on the gasket just in case it has to come out and be reused. Made sure the locators here all lined up, so I've got all that. Every nut and bolt that I installed I wire wheeled off and put a new bit of moly grease on the film to get it. So about to do that. This is the old oil pump. So the reason why I initially didn't want to keep this one in was because this cam was all rusted and pretty deteriorated, and also it looks like she's been pretty bent up as well, so I didn't want to go with that. And I found the seller on eBay that was selling a second-hand one So I grabbed that and I was able to like run the new lines and set up with the new one. So this is what's come out of it. So that's now a spare, but I'm not sure if I'd actually would ever install that back on there. But yeah, I got the mounts there. These are the plugs that came out of it. So they're quite ugly. They stink of like unburnt oil. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Install this last portion of the exhaust. Put the defeater on the exhaust sensor. I've got another water temp sensor there, and it's got the wrong connector on it, so I'm going to give the old one a try and see how that goes. And if it doesn't work out, well, I'll put the new one on and cut the old plug off and connect them up. So I've got that there. Installed the power valve controller, which had to sit over the side here while I was getting this in. There's one bolt that was down there that I had to put into position and then bring it across and then drop it down before I did all the three here. So yeah, put the last portion on of the exhaust, bolt up all the brackets, hit the bleeder pipe. There's a 2.5, well, two full rotations out up in there. Have the spark plugs over, put some oil down the bores, crank it over, just make sure everything's nice and clear inside there. Make sure it cranks over. Put the Yamaha 2W into the oil reservoir. I'm going to pre-mix the fuel around 40:1 to make sure that it's got enough oil in there before the oil lines start passing oil and getting into the cylinders. But apart from that, yeah, hopefully everything's ready to go. So yeah, I'll see you soon when I'm trying to start this thing. Alright, bye. Alright, moment of truth. Exhaust back on. Just cranked it over without the spark plugs in, and bled the oil pump system. Put the plugs in, pre-mixed the fuel, put all in the oil tank, got the hose ready to go. I've got the valve down here to crack it open. Yep, she cranked over, fuel sounded good. Here's comes the moment of truth. Alright, let's see how this goes.
Is it working?
Yep, one pipe I didn't hook up. Right, lots of smoke. Let's try take two.